Hey, what's going on? This is Obie, Celebrity Health Expert Obi here. I want to talk to you about why you should never weigh yourself all the time. People get so focused on the number on the scale as if that is a representative of your health and your fitness level. All right. The number on the scale doesn't reflect how strong you are. It doesn't reflect how much endurance you have. It doesn't reflect how much flexibility you have. All right. It doesn't reflect how much muscle you have. It doesn't even reflect what your body fat is. And so it should never be the final metric as a validation of how healthy and fit you are. All right. When you weigh yourself, there's several different components that number represents. It represents muscle, water, and fat. Okay. And so you can't differentiate it when you get that number on the scale. And a lot of times when you weigh yourself, it can make yourself go crazy because every other day that number goes up and sometimes up, or it fluctuates. If you just consume salt more, let's say you've got the last 3-4 days, you've just ate a lot of high sodium foods. You know what happens? You retain more water. You know what happens? That scale goes up, right? So did you gain body fat or did you gain water weight? You gained water weight, right? So if you eat a meal and it has a lot of sodium, it's going to retain water, and the number on the scale is going to go up, and that's reflective of how much water you're retaining. So that doesn't necessarily mean that you gain body fat. And so what happens is that when someone is on a program, a weight loss or fat loss program, and they're weighing themselves every day and the scale doesn't drop, they're thinking that, oh my God, this program isn't working, even though you probably are dropping inches and you're probably dropping body fat, but it doesn't reflect that in the scale. Maybe you're gaining muscle and throughout the process as well too, with the lifting weights and adding protein. So it's not really giving you the true metric that you want to see. That's why body fat compositions are probably more important. They are more important than you weighing yourself. And a body fat composition should not be done every day or even every week. Why? Because the average metric with body fat composition is about 1% of body fat per month. That's the average that you would lose per month if you're on any form of program. All right. So if you're losing on an average one body fat percentage of droppage per month, then it wouldn't make any sense to do a body fat composition every day or even every week. You're not going to see much progress. So you want to wait at least a month. I would say maybe even 2 months to actually see some form of significant movement, because it moves a lot slower than the scale. The average weight loss, if you weigh yourself, is 1 to 2 pounds per week. Okay, so weighing yourself once a week, maybe every morning, and then hide the scale. And then you also, when you weigh yourself, you want to weigh yourself at the same time. And it's best to do it before you eat anything. So weigh yourself on an empty stomach and so you'll get the consistent numbers, as opposed to weighing yourself at the end of the day, or weigh yourself at the end of the day one day and then weigh yourself in the beginning of the other day, the next day. So you're not having consistency. You want to have consistency in the time of the day that you weigh yourself. You know what I mean? So if you're weighing yourself once a week, just weighing yourself at that particular point in time. So let's say every Monday morning, if some client says, when should I weigh myself? I'd say weigh yourself every Monday morning on an empty stomach. All right. Once a week, and then hide the scale. Do not weigh yourself every day, because that number is going to change. All right. Because of water fluctuation. I've had female clients that have weighed themselves during the time of their period or whatever, and typically they're always heavier during that time frame. Why? Because they're retaining water during that menstruation cycle, during that during that period. So that doesn't mean that you're gaining body fat. It's just because you're retaining a lot of water. And that's why the scale should not be your final metric, should not be the metric that's the gospel that you rest everything on. All right. It shouldn't be, because it doesn't tell the entire picture. It doesn't tell how many inches you've lost. It doesn't show how much body fat you've lost. It doesn't show how much muscle you've gained. Okay. So that's why doing a body fat composition is probably more vital and gives you detailed metrics like how much body fat you've lost or gained, muscle loss, all of that, your resting metabolic rate. It gives you all of those specific data metrics that will show you your health markers, all right, as far as how fit you are, all right, as opposed to the number on the scale. So in closing, be mindful of weighing yourself. Do not weigh yourself all the time. Once a week is probably appropriate, and then hide the scale. If you weigh yourself all the time, you're going to make yourself go crazy, and you're going to question your fitness progress. You're going to question if you're even healthy. You're going to question if you're even fit. You're going to question your trainer. You're going to question your nutritionist. You're going to question everybody. And like, what's going on? You know, thinking that maybe there's something wrong with you and you're gaining weight, even though that you're going to gain, when you weigh yourself every day, that number is going to fluctuate back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. All right. That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with your training or your nutrition. It just means that your body is going through what we all go through, which is water fluctuation, which means that number will change every other day, every day. Doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. I hope that helps anybody with the confusion of the scale. Don't weigh yourself all the time. If you like this video, click on the link on the description. If anyone that wants to get in shape, lose body fat, lose weight, you can click on the link on the description for my weight loss and my body sculpting programs, help you get in the best shape of your life. And if you have any questions, post a question on the comments, and I will do the best job I can to answer any of your questions. You guys have a blessed day and a phenomenal new year to the 2026. Take care, folks.